Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. My 30M girlfriend, 30F, of 8 years, told me she developed feelings for someone else in a class I was paying for, right before we were planning on getting engaged. Advice. TL, Doctor, my girlfriend of 8 years, told me she developed feelings for someone else in a class I was paying for, right before we were planning on getting engaged. She says she wants to work things out, but still has feelings for him. I've been with my girlfriend for 8 years. Things have been really great, honestly. She moved across the country to be with me. We have lots of fun together. My friends and family love and she puts so much effort into getting to know all of them. She makes me cute handmade cards and loving letters for every special occasion. Things weren't perfect. She always moved a little faster than me in wanting to move in together and say I love you. I had some trauma and a lot going on in my life at the time, so I was moving a little more slowly. I know this made her insecure and she resented me a bit. We were both slightly ambivalent but in favor of having kids, but when she turned 30 this became a much more important issue for her. I had a lot of work stress for the past couple years and we weren't doing as much fun stuff as we used to together. It was harder for me to go out during the week and she was upset I didn't want to hang out with her friends. She worked for an event planning company and expected me to attend a lot of these company events. I honestly felt like no matter how much attention I gave her it would never be enough. I might have been getting a little depressed. Looking back, our relationship may have been a little surface level, but we didn't have the tools to navigate some of our deep emotions. Still, we did at least one big fun exciting thing a month and spent some quality time together. I will admit she was putting a bit more effort in than me and I was a little complacent. In late 2019, after being together 6 years, we discussed getting married. We went ring shopping together in early 2020, but COVID messed up our plans. She got laid off and I was under a lot of pressure at work. We made the decision to do an $16,000 coding boot camp, which I paid for and supported all her expenses during most of the year. We were planning on continuing with the ring shopping and our engagement afterward. This turned out to be much more stressful than either of us anticipated and both our mental health suffered. We were both working at least 12 hours a day. I tried to help her with things during my work day, but we got in a number of fights. She's really extroverted and I know she resented me for not wanting her to break quarantine to hang out with her friends, because I didn't want either of us to get sick when I was the only one working and after I had paid for such an expensive class. She was working really hard and I was giving her some space. She was spending a lot of time chatting and having video calls with her classmates, but I knew she was feeling isolated so I didn't mind, even though I was missing her. Near the end of the boot camp, she tells me she has something she wants to talk to me about our relationship and that she hasn't been super happy. She says I haven't been planning enough dates, going out with her friends enough, or contributing enough to the relationship. I was really upset to hear this after I thought I was supporting her financially, mentally, and emotionally to get through this. She says she wanted to book couples therapy to discuss some of these issues. I was upset, but she seemed like she wanted to work things out. She booked a session and we went. Before the first session she tells me she developed feelings for one of her classmates. This made me incredibly upset, but I had some comfort in that she came clean to me and there was no chance it was physical, since he was in a different state and we were quarantined together for the past year. I can somewhat understand being in an incredibly stressful situation, working closely with lots of other people on projects, and having things go a little too far. It was primarily over chat. She was incredibly honest about everything, including going through the chat logs together and talking about it, and everything else on her phone. It was pretty short, it only really lasted about 1 month. 90% of it was pretty tame. Some college party stories, talking about movies and shows, etc. No I love yous or anything sexual. I was sad because I was missing her during this time and she was spending hours a day talking to him, but still I had empathy since I was the only person she had seen in an entire year. They texted each other good morning and good night every day for a month. Based on what I saw in the messages, after the boot camp was over, he said he was uncomfortable with how close they were getting, since he had been cheated on before, that they should stop talking, and she should go to couples therapy and work things out with me. She then sends him a really long message asking if he had feelings for her, which he admitted to. She said he sees her soul and they could share things together that she couldn't share with me in the 8 years we've been together, that he's the first thing she thinks of when she wakes up, that he's completely taken over her subconscious. I find out she's been writing him really creative poetry. I was amazed reading this, that she went from saying she was absolutely sure about marrying me and writing me a card saying her heart was so happy it was going to explode to writing this to him in just a few months and when we were talking about getting engaged. In a strange way, this felt like the most honest we had been with each other in years and I felt a strange type of connection. I realized we might have been missing a deep connection too and it made me really want to develop a deeper one with her. We've been writing each other long letters and having the deepest conversations we have in years. She says she wants this connection with me and wants to work towards it every day. She's not contacting him anymore. Still, there are things that make me uncomfortable. First, that this happened at a time when I was supporting her so much and we were just about to get engaged. Second, that he ended things and not her, even though she did tell me we were having some issues before he did and she promised me she was always planning on telling me and ending things with him. Third, that even 2 months later she's still obsessed with this guy from what I can tell. She tells me she's trying to get over it and wants to get through this with me. She tells me she just needs some more time and patience from me. I really want to work things out, but I'm so uncomfortable that she thinks this guy could be her soulmate and she might just be with me because she's comfortable. I wonder if she'll always fantasize about this guy. Things feel different between us, I'm not feeling as much love, but feel like they might be improving. I really don't know what to do. On one hand she was honest with me and seemed to want to work things out with me. This could be a wake-up call to consciously invest in that deep connection with her, which we hadn't been doing before. On the other hand, I feel betrayed at a critical moment and wonder if she's always going to fantasize about this guy. Edit, thank you so much for the responses everyone. I'm deep in it and shocked, so I greatly appreciate the different perspectives. She promised me she was always planning on telling me and ending things with him. She may have wanted to, but in the end that is what nearly all people who are in an affair think, which want to get back with their partner. Thing is, they never find the right time or opportunity and so on. And suddenly it is 5 years later and too late to mention it again. It is like you said, she never wanted to end it. Even when he ended it, she wrote him a long message, telling him more or less that she wants him more than you. And you really believe her when she tells you that she wanted to end things with him? In my opinion, the only thing that kept this affair from getting physical was the distance and that the pandemic happened. But if those were the only reasons, what does it tell you about her desire to be with you? So let me ask you this. How much more time do you think she needs to not only find her heart again, that she lost to the guy, but also to give it back to you, the one she never had such a deep connection to? Do not marry her. I think the only thing you left out is she's still financially dependent on him. Given how she acted after discovery and after being dropped, she would have pieced out if she wasn't actively milking op to survive. Maybe change that op. I also left out how she did everything that her AP told her. Go to therapy, she goes to her BF and says they need therapy. You have officially became plan B. If you can live with that till the next best thing comes along, then you should be good. Should leave hurt, oh man. The hurt now isn't anything to the hurt next time. You keep on stressing that she was honest. She only came clean after he told her to. Not only that, she even does exactly what he told her to. He said to her that they should go to counseling, and what is she doing the next day? She goes to her boyfriend and suggests counseling. Makes me wonder what she would have done if her lover told her that she needs to break up with her boyfriend first before they can become a couple. Exactly. If the AP was living in the same city, she would have been riding the soul out of him. Up grow a pair of balls, mate. Yep. She is actually showing the AP that she is worthy of him, and poor old Op is left with the bill paying for everything. Maybe she should go home to mom and dad and think about what she wants. Will she miss you and feel that you're her soulmate? Will she fantasize about you while gone? Or will she re-hook up with the AP? All the things that you mentioned that she does to you is too much for you. Your body tells you all the time. When are you going to listen to your gut and body that she is not for you? Meet someone more like you. Your girl expects too much, she is over the hill with her needs. She needs consent, attention, and if you don't, she goes elsewhere. Is that what you want to endure the rest of your life? She is constantly complaining about you. Does she ever say anything good about you? Thanks sweetie for paying my way. Thanks honey for me hooking up with another man. You're so wonderful for always supporting me. Edit ad. We the other half spouse do our bit as best as we can to be there for our spouse and family. It's the poor mindset of the other spouse that would rather find it easier to complain. Make up lies to make themselves look like, poor me, or I'm so perfect and they are doing nothing for me. Then they get into an EA in 1 week. They blow off the years invested as if it were one day. Then they have to go further and turn it into the PA. Then lay in their mind it's okay to come home. WTF? Then it's on us. We stay and fight or we just give up and go. My vows said nothing about whether it's okay to cheat. My vows didn't say it was okay to sleep with another person. My vows did not say we are in a one-sided poly marriage. My vows did say to love and respect their newly spouse. She didn't honor me and I have my self-worth. It's called respect. I divorced after 25 years, 3 kids, a house, my dog, my vehicles. She felt that everything in the house is hers, she took it all. And I got my son. I was able to save one of my kids. Yeah, couples tend to get distant, even one of them is investing their time and effort on someone else, like, duh. The distance in your relationship is primarily her fault. She didn't have an EA because you all were distant, you all got distant because she had an EA. All while 100% supporting her. If I'm in your shoes, I'd simply tell her I can't be with a person who has feelings for another person, and she needs to leave and go be with them. That's the natural progression of her actions, so she can follow it through. Get out of MC, now. MC is horrible at addressing infidelity, she needs IC, and you need space to gain clarity of mind, you are thinking emotionally, not rationally. For the foreseeable future, you have to take marriage off the table. You should be taking the relationship off the table right now. Do not reward her betrayal by marrying her, it reinforces the notion that she can cheat on you and be rewarded, nearly guaranteeing she will cheat again. All in all, she failed the wife test, throw her away and find someone who can pass the test. If y'all were married with kids, I'd understand reconciliation, but BF/GF/fiance, they aren't entitled to reconciliation, no way. Hey bro, what is the wife test? It's what dating is for, to see if the girl/guy has what it takes to be a good spouse for you. Everyone's a little different, but most feel that a lying cheater who manipulates or abuses you isn't really a good spouse for them. So it is said that they failed the test, they showed you who they really are. Agree re the MC, for my counseling with my wife, the female counselor believed everything my wife said and then didn't believe anything I said and wouldn't even let me finish speaking most times, and then said that it was a classic cliched case where the wife is cheating because she's been neglected and not loved enough. No shit. I would have walked out immediately and never went back. Unfortunately, I hear that kind of stuff a lot about MC. We tried MC too early, but our counselor put a stop to it when she found out there was infidelity on my part, and we hadn't worked those issues with IC. We still do MC, twice a year check-ins. For the last 10 years, we have a female counselor, and she is a rock-solid, no bullshit lady. I suspect distance is the only reason this didn't get physical, and why it's not progressing. Our guy tried to remind her she has a boyfriend and what they were doing was crossing lines. She proceeded to express her feelings about him and act if it was shared. My ex developed feelings for someone else. Mine soon became irrelevant and distance grew between us. He was all about appeasing her feelings. So, I told him to go be with her. And he did. If I had let him, he would have had us both until he decided which one made him happier, or just bounced between us to get the good parts of each. He tried so hard to stop me from moving on so he didn't lose a source of attention for himself. He was livid when he saw me on a dating app, ironically on there himself. Just things to think about. People may not always get to be with their first choice, but they should absolutely be choosing you every day if they love you. I think your only saving grace here is the physical distance and pandemic, otherwise your GF would have made this physical. I'm guessing he is no longer with her and he realized that the grass is not always greener on the other side. Too little too late, neutral face. Who, my ex? He's still with AP. Mostly because I told him to take a hike when I found out. He was texting me for a while after that but I showed AP that also lol. He stopped a month ago. I suppose this is still quite recent, him getting together with the AP? I bet he is still in the affair fog. Eventually they will crash and burn. I think he started with her around August 2020 and they got more serious around January. They went to school together years back. I do think he just needed someone to use as an emotional crutch. He's a depressed alcoholic and sometimes has suicidal ideations, and she was ready and willing to be an enabler. I think she cares for him more than he cares for her, clearly, if he came back to me. I like to think he still thinks about, loves me and regrets what this became but he's too selfish. What boggles my mind is we had conflict around kids. I don't want any, he wasn't sure how he felt. So off he went and found a single mom to betray me with lol. Can't tell me he's not self-serving his curiosity of that life. I find out she's been writing him really creative poetry. I was amazed reading this, that she went from lol savage. The last thing you want to do is to get engaged to a partner who has developed feelings for someone else. Don't play the second fiddle in that relationship. The reason she has chosen you is because the other guy has left her. So you're her plan B. You were paying for her class and she thanked you by falling in love with another guy. It may not have been intentional but she has shown you her lack of loyalty. Don't marry her, let alone get engaged with her. Leave her and move on. I sincerely believe that she is using you. She is very economically dependent on you, she treats you like her paycheck while having an affair, and definitely takes you for granted. That dynamic has to change, you will end up being just her safe option. Also I have to add, that the answer that she gave to the guy is very worrying, like but we are soulmates, and we have a connection, who cares that I already have a partner? Vibes. She really did not see the bad in what she was doing. He had to say it to her. If the guy had not said anything this would have evolved into a physical affair for sure. Up. She failed the girlfriend test. Are you going to give her the wife title after that? She cheated while you were freaking paying and supporting her. The audacity. Honestly, you deserve better and it's sad that you're considering investing more time in someone that has proven that lacks respect for you and does not value all you do for her. Consider this a $16,000 lesson. Honestly, much cheaper than getting married and finding out later. Well, from my experience, the wedding is a huge deal to look forward to for most women. In my lifetime, I can't tell you how many times I wondered if the woman would care if the groom was a mannequin. Realistically, I could see feelings between them, but I also can't tell you how many times of those marriages fell apart within 3 years, the cliched starter marriage. If I had to predict for you, that's what I see. You know, being an anon writing a few paragraphs. Thing is, people are kind of all the same. We all do the same stuff, have the same feelings, and kind of react the same. You might get angry, I might get sad, but there definitely is a limited range of reactions to human behavior. -80% of people will fall within that range, the other 20% are outliers. It seems you definitely had a true relationship to start off, if maybe a bit one-sided. Maybe more than a bit. You were acting like a married person, paying for $16,000 educational expenses, seeming like you already were committed together, and nothing, I mean absolutely nothing similar, on her side of the relationship. How does one fall in love? I have been in love a number of times. The last time was when I married my wife. Why do you think that is? Do you think I am impossible to love again? Or do you think it's because I choose not to put myself in a position to fall in love with someone else? Let's face it, you have to really position yourself to fall in love. You have to do a lot of little things, one at a time, step by step, to reach the point of falling in love. Not that what she had was true love. I mean, she knew the guy a few months. No one truly can have true love in a few months. You don't know the person well enough. Yes, some people feel it and then they stay together and it works out. Odds are, that will happen sometimes, but does that mean it was true love only a few months in? I don't think so. Your girlfriend should start to pay back that $16,000. At least a good portion of it. It was a gift, so she is not legally obligated, but I find it offensive that she used it to purposely choose to fall in love with another person. She did have a choice not to put herself in that position. I personally would be resentful of that. You talk a lot about her resentment on various times and at various levels, but apparently you never feel resentful of her. Can you start to see why I feel this relationship is lopsided? Is your nature to be a homebody make you bad and her nature to be a party person make her good? Apparently she implies that to you, and you seem to agree with her. What I see about the other guy, he never had the same feelings as her. He maybe intuitively played the game with her, but he didn't push it because of a reason, and that reason almost always is that she was a bit off-putting. I mean, if she believed he was her soulmate, her deepest connection ever, certainly she must have been totally honest with him and told him how you paid $16,000 for the class and now she was chasing him. How do you think he felt about that, about her? Even cheaters know right from wrong, other than their own cheating, and can feel a bit disgusted by other people's behaviors. And he wasn't cheating. Did you ever have an attraction to someone, in various levels, not just physical, and then find out one thing that they did, were still doing, that is rather abhorrent to you? I have. A woman like your girlfriend. She seems lovely, except how wrong does it seem to accept your money and then betray you? Disgusting, isn't it? She then sends him a really long message asking if he had feelings for her, which he admitted to. She said he sees her soul and they could share things together that she couldn't share with me in the 8 years we've been together, that he's the first thing she thinks of when she wakes up, that he's completely taken over her subconscious. I find out she's been writing him really creative poetry. Cheaters have ways of saying things, and what they say may not be as direct as a non-cheater would understand well. What this part above means, what it was, is her throwing herself on him that if he would return her feelings, she would leave you to be with him. Immediately. If he gave any indication at all that he wanted her, even if he had reservations, she would have maintained the relationship with him. Basically he would be the one needing patience, and she definitely would have been patient for him. But he turned her down, and that's where you stand. If he comes back and asks for another chance, that he realized she really means a lot to him, if he does it the right way, I think she'd go for it with him. That is based on how things are now. I'm not saying this will be the same a few weeks or months or years from now. But right now, with her still pining, yes, you are reliable, you loved her, shit, you did enough for her, you are a provider, the spark is dull or burned out completely, but the wedding in the future, and she wants that darn wedding, she's a bit resentful you didn't do it earlier pre-COVID, and now she's thinking maybe that and meeting this guy was a sign that it wasn't meant to be. Maybe I'll write a novel about this. Or at least a short story. What kind of ending do you want? Okay, I'll end it here. My advice is to stay with her, for now. That's what you want. You want to see if things can get better. And what's the downside? A bit more pain? Sure. But I think you'd regret it if you didn't try. Just stop letting her push you around so much. Stand up for what your nature is. There is nothing wrong with wanting to stay home versus going out. Let her do stuff for you, that is just for you, not like she's taking you to a party that she wants to go to, anyway. Even 2 months later she's still obsessed with this guy from what I can tell. She tells me she's trying to get over it and wants to get through this with me. If she delves into why she cheated, and this is a must for you to not being cheated on again by her, she will realize that it was not this guy at all. It was her imagined imputed feelings she put on him. He was in many ways a blank slate. In a few months of online conversation, she imagined parts of him without evidence. It was what she had hoped for, and even if he gave a nondescript reply or statement, she inserted things into it that was not that. That's why he didn't have the same connection to her, because it was lopsided from her. If she works on why she did it, cheating and putting herself in that position rather than exit that situation and tell you about it, whether she decided to end it with you or try to work on it with you at that point, if she does that, then I think she'll lose those feelings for him and realize it was her drawing him that way rather than him really being that way. She tells me she just needs some more time and patience from me. I get a visceral reaction from that statement. I don't think I've ever seen or heard or read that said where it eventually ended up okay. Maybe you will be the first. There's no reason that someone asking for patience should mean that they don't actually change and turn the corner. Theoretically, it should happen sometimes, it's just I've never seen it. I really want to work things out, but I'm so uncomfortable that she thinks this guy could be her soulmate and she might just be with me because she's comfortable. I wonder if she'll always fantasize about this guy. Yeah, life is risk. Love is risk. You are not going to know if you don't give it a try. You are one of many who were and are in the same position, same feelings, and some people win and some people lose, but what really is there to lose? You can trust this. Next time you catch her, or if she drags her feet too long, you won't be so willing to give another try again. You will survive. Again, stand up more for yourself. And be careful with pregnancy. You wrote very well and I agree with everything you said, except for the next time she thinks of this guy or a different guy they might not be as righteous by telling her not to cheat and go to counseling. This time he got lucky, the dude told her it's not okay what she is doing, next time he might not be so lucky. By the way, you're very eloquent, thumbs up. lim_ens/lim_rns/noun psychology. The state of being infatuated or obsessed with another person, typically experienced involuntarily and characterized by a strong desire for reciprocation of one's feelings but not primarily for a sexual relationship. How long does limerence last on average? Between 3 months and 36 months. On average, limerence lasts somewhere between 3 months and 36 months. If you were with your lover more often, likely your limerence would be ebbing already. Because you see him rarely, it takes a little longer to run its course. When will feelings for my other go away? Family savvy. She has only done what he's said and done things that he said. She had an emotional affair and would have tucked him if this guy didn't stop it. She wants him. Nothing she said sounds remorseful. She may have been honest, but she's definitely not remorseful. She's hung up on this guy. I would leave her, and you know, as soon as you do she will hop on a plane then hop on him. Also stop paying for stuff for her and see how she acts, seeing as she's probably keeping you till she can afford to leave. I'm sorry you're here having to ask strangers for advice. By the sounds of it, she will always consider this man a love lost. COVID was/is hard for everyone, but that is no excuse to behave like this. She used you paid for everything while she chased the butterflies. Of course, she wants to fix this, you're the fallback plan. In other words, you will always be number 2 to her. She may have had/has feelings for this guy, but can he foot the bills as you have? That may have been the reality check for her, a reason why it didn't go further. What happens the next time things get tough in your relationship? Will she look somewhere else, or will she discuss it with you? Currently, based on past behavior, she is more likely to stray than discuss any related issues with you. Personally, I would gracefully bow out, move on, and consider the experience a life lesson learned. How you choose to proceed is obviously up to you. I wish you the best of luck, friend, no matter your choice, and I hope you never have to return here for more advice. Being the love of her life to plan B in the matter of a few months say it all. She is emotionally immature and dangerous. To fall head over heels in love with some fool over the internet is absurd. You have been with her a long time, but she has failed the marriage test. She'll pull this crap on you again, but next time you will be married with children. Being a couple is hard work. It is not always fireworks and excitement. People who constantly need that and can't handle difficulty are not good candidates for being a life partner. They will look for a quick fix in someone new. Set her free and tell her she must pursue the love of her life. Meanwhile, get the hell away from her and go look for a worthy girlfriend. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.